Not even his last stand, he says that. Because he knew, he was scared, and he didn't want to give up.
Di lalo sila nawalan ng pag-asa, lalo sila nawalan ng confidence, kasi ganun yung pinaparamdam natin sa...
Ito sa Japan may mga support ang government. So while I was in Japan, people saw this and could immediately tell that I'm either a blind or visually impaired person.
I have not experienced a single racist encounter since moving here.
I'm utterly in love with how the Japanese system has been.
お前らこんにちは。海外の反応を届けるゴリラ通信だ。今回はちょっと考えさせられるテーマだ。ハンデを抱えた外国人がな、自分の国ではこう感じているらしい。まるでそこにいないみたいに扱われる。その同じ人たちが日本に来て、ここだと息がしやすいって言うんだ。会計で目を見てもらえた。杖を出したら席を譲られた。それだけで泣きそうになったってな。たったそれだけの話だ。でもそのたったそれだけに涙がこぼれるってのがこの世界のリアルなんだろうな。先に言っとくが日本が完璧なんて話じゃねえ。ただ今日は外から来た人間の目に日本がどう映るのか、その正直な声を聞いてみようって回だ。各 UI も夜勤明けのゾンビ状態でコンビニ入った時、店員が普通に接客してくれるだけで危うく泣きそうになる日があるからな。まあ今はただの寝不足なんだけどな。さあ今回は日本でちゃんと一人の人間として扱われたと感じた海外ネキニキたちの反応をたっぷり紹介していくぜ。それじゃあ行ってみよう。私が来た。
ゴリをたまにチャンネル登録よろしく。
まずは日本のアニメや漫画に救われた海外ネキたちの反応だ。このインディちゃんって3歳の少女はな、生まれつき顔にあざがあったんだと。だがある日ヒロアカの轟賞を取っていい、自分と同じ場所にあざのあるキャラを見つけたんだぜ。
Anything else you think's cool? And he has a birthmark like me. He does. Match me. He matches you.
The creator of My Hero Academia, Horikoshi, saw the video of the little girl and Todoroki. Shoto Todoroki's Japanese voice actor, Yuki Kaji, talked about it in a new message. Video of a girl who had a birthmark in the same place as Shoto. The same as me, she said, hugging the doll with a cute smile. Even if my past is a heavy burden to me, it still has the potential to save someone. There was a heroic side to this that only Shoto could be. This is so wholesome, Winry. I'm glad you have Shoto.
こういうのを見るとさ、本当に日本のアニメや漫画は世界を救えるのかもしれねえって思っちまうよな。
I like all three of these ones, okay? Because he has a birthmark, he has a birthmark, and he has.
I'm always complaining about how there aren't many representations of people with disabilities in mangas, cartoons, even movies. So I was talking about this with a good friend of mine, and he just put me onto a manga. I'm connected with all the characters instantly. Within the first couple of chapters, even the first page, you got people in wheelchairs, non-stop, looking like me.
Pokemon saved my life. 12 years old, 1 year away from my scheduled death. But through every infection and hospitalization, I always had the one thing that made me want to get up in the morning. And for me, that was Pokemon. Trading with my friends and collecting the cards and the ambition to become a Pokemon master gave me a reason to want to carry on when everything else felt so hopeless. With what little time I had left, me and my dad decided to catch them all. And made it past 13, then 14, then 15, then 16, and now 34. It's said that spirit is the number one most important thing when battling a medical condition. Pokemon gave me that spirit. And 25 years later, still done.
There was a kid that was 11 years old from Arizona that survived 400 Africanized bee stings, channeling his inner Dragon Ball Z character Vegeta. But what he did was he called on the full force power, aka Super Saiyan, from Vegeta. He said whenever the reporters asked him, how did he get through it? I'm Andrew, but you can call me Vegeta. Shouts out to this kid, man.
If it wasn't for manga, I wouldn't have known that I was asexual and I would have continued to blame myself. I didn't fully understand what he meant until I read Donuts Under a Crescent Moon. Seeing Hinako just battle through how broken she felt, it was the very first time that I felt like my feelings were validated. Being an asexual woman means that there's going to be a lot of people that completely misunderstand how you feel.
シナーセクシャルってのは他者に対して性的な魅力を感じないセクシャリティのことらしい。そういう恋愛へのコンプレックスを題材にしたのが天水牛尾先生によるかけた月とドーナツって作品だぜ。
It can be a very isolating experience, but I have found so much comfort in seeing women portrayed that think very similar to me.
Waiting for a friend?
A friend?
What?
Please, I know you're curious.
Deep down, he's worried about me.
Anime has touched black people in America in a different way, in my opinion. There's something with the storytelling that it transcends and connects with the black American experience. It's a really good question. Anecdotally, I feel exactly what you're saying. I do think there is something about the story in anime that allows people to escape whatever they're coming from, because it's meant to take you out of the environment you're in and put you in a new fantasy world. I think that growing up as a minority, particularly an African-American experience, must resonate with the storylines that are not told in the same way.
Anime saved my whole entire life. Like, I'm not gonna lie, without anime gave me a mission to keep going, to keep pushing. That really taught me a lesson is Red Riot, or Kirishima, from My Hero Academia. Literally, his last stand when he was helping Fat Gum, if I crack, I'ma harden again. Not even his last stand, he says that, because he knew, he was scared, and he didn't want to give up.
K-On! Is an anime that helps me forget about my social anxiety and real-world worries. This is new. I've never experienced something like this with an anime. Yui, nothing is holding her back. Nothing. Yui has such a carefree personality, and it makes me think, man, going outside and actually talking to people might not be so bad, because Yui does it so easily. She doesn't fear these social situations. I do, and I'm not gonna lie, she helps me think maybe it isn't so bad.
The reason I watch anime is because whenever I felt like I was going through things that no one else understood, there was always an anime character I could relate to. I had a hard time grieving the loss of people close to me. There was Naruto and Shikamaru right there. When I needed to refine purpose in my own life, I so happened to meet Thorfinn. So no one could ever tell me, yeah, anime is just cartoons, because it's bigger than that. There's so many messages, so many relatable things that helps everybody grow.
Sometimes when I'm feeling bored, I'll rewatch Goku going Ultra Instinct for the first time, and it'll like tear me in my path. You feel so inspired and like, oh my god, it's like I look at it and I'm like, damn bro, Goku just passed his limits, bro. Like, how could I feel down right now?
日本のアニメや漫画ってさ、主人公が最初から強いわけじゃねえんだよな。コンプレックスや傷を抱えてて、それでもなんとか前に進もうとする。完璧なヒーローじゃなく欠けてる部分をちゃんと描くから、同じように何か抱えてるか以外の視聴者にこいつはワイだって刺さるのかもしれねえな。さてここからはハンディキャップがあっても日本でなら生きやすいと感じたネキやニキたちを見ていこう。
Living with autism in Japan is actually good for me. And I love living in Japan because no one is ever expecting me to be like, oh my god, hi, it's so nice to meet you. I can just be like, hello. And they're also like, hello. And it's just like, that's it. No one's gonna outwardly be like, why are you like that? Why are you acting like that? Oh my god, why are you looking like that? Polite in that way.
Living in Tokyo as an autistic man is perfect because everything is well ordered. The trains are on time. People kind of keep to themselves. And although I can be an extrovert at times, I love being introverted. People are respectful too. They take care of their own things. They don't throw trash on the ground. It's just paradise over here, being autistic.
My favorite thing about living here with a disability is actually that people just treat you like better, if that makes sense. Like people actually look you in the eye when you like check out and whatever. Like nobody's gonna come up to you and be like, why are you using that? Like you look too young. Like I feel like that happens so much in America.
So I've never used chopsticks before as a blind woman, and this is how a Buddhist monk taught me how to use them in Japan. It smells like gorgeous wood and incense all around me, and the monks have prepared a gorgeous vegan dinner. The monk was so amazing, and eventually I got a massive rice ball and he was so happy with me.
Oh yeah.
Guys, alam nyo, dito sa Japan, walang discrimination pagdating sa trabaho. May sakit sa puso, may sakit na epilepsy, kaya mo mag-perform ng trabaho na to, kaya tinanggap ng company. Dito guys, kahit may kapansanan ka, basta kaya mo mag-perform ng trabaho na ito, kaya mo mag-perform ng trabaho na ibibigay sa'yo, edi lalo sila nawala ng pag-asa, lalo sila nawala ng confidence, kasi ganon yung pinaparamdam natin sa... Dito guys, grabe, pantay-pantay lahat, kahit may sakit ka, basta kaya mo mag-perform, tatanggapin ka ng ng buong puso ng company. Na-amaze ako sa dito sa Japan, sa mga company.
One positive thing on the Japanese elementary school side, they teach them to take personal responsibility for where they inhabit. That includes taking care of others, that includes taking care of themselves, making the space nice for everybody. And so you can see how this part of the education translates into the rest of the culture, the rest of the society.
Dito sa Japan, yung mga support ang government, meron silang specific o talagang para lang sa kanila yung school na yun. Ito yung talagang pinakagusto ko sa lahat ng benefits dito sa Japan.
And of course, there's like a lot of old people walking through this area. Sometimes, you know, they like bow and you say like Ohayo gozaimasu or konnichiwa to them. And then Obasan, like a grandmother or like auntie, she comes over and you know, I bow to her and I'm like, konnichiwa, and I try to get my daughter to bow to her too, because we're working on that. She goes up to me and like fixes like my dakohima, my like ergo baby strap, and pats me on the shoulder and said, "Okasa, ganbatte ne." And I was like, "Arigatou gozaimasu." Like I was so touched.
なぜハンデを持つ海外ネキやニキャチが日本では生きやすいと感じんのか。共通して出てくるのが普通って単語なんだよ。特別扱いされない。普通に接してもらえる。普通に働ける。これな日本に昔からある言葉と関係してる気がすんだ。お互い様って言葉だぜ。困った時は助けて、自分が困った時は助けてもらう。誰が上でも下でもね、みんな順番に助けられる側になる。そういう考え方が日本には昔から根っこにあるんだよな。農村なんてまさにそれでな。田植えも稲刈りも一人じゃ無理だから、村みんなで順番に手伝いやってた。唯一って風習だ。だから日本人にとって人を助けるのは特別なことじゃねえ。困ってたらお互い様ってだけ。ハンデを持つ人に手を貸すのも多分その延長線上なんだよな。同情でも施しでもなくお互い様だからすっと手が出る。その気軽さが本人を楽にすんのかもな。
ゴリをたまにチャンネル登録よろしく。
お次は障害やハンデを背負う海外ネキャチから日本って国がどう見えてんのか、ネキニキャチの視点を追っていこう。
As a blind person, I've never been a huge fan of roller coasters. I can't look at the ride while I'm standing in line and know what I'm in for. But here at Disney Sea in Tokyo, they actually have wooden replicas of every single ride, but you can also feel them when you're in line. You can ask the people who work there to hand you a replica model. It's wooden, and it allows you to feel what the ride looks like so that you know what to expect, and it's easier to conceptualize. And I'm obsessed with this. I've never seen this done at any other amusement park I've been to, and I wish more did it.
With the ride?
Yeah, this is a ride.
We put in defense the height and figure to go past.
And there's something overhead.
こういう優しいサービスがあるなんてシンプルに知らんかったわ。
To show you the specific bits of paving that I am loving. So I often veer left and right because I obviously don't have a point of reference when I'm on a crossing. I'll just veer with my ears, and that's how I can gather how straight I am. But with this crossing, that's actually dissipating in the road all the way along, so I can shoreline onto the crossing and make sure that I'm in a straight line.
The best thing about traveling to Japan was the accessibility, especially the elevator. If you press the handicap button, it'll make sure that the elevator is empty and that no one else is in it, so you have all the room that you could possibly need if you have a wheelchair, if you have a different mobility device. I just think this is one of the best features that I've seen so far as someone with a disability.
So while I was in Japan, people saw this and could immediately tell that I'm either a blind or a visually impaired person. Don't understand that's like a blind person thing. They get really confused and they just call it like a stick. They're like, "Why do you have a stick?" Like they just don't. I have had people in the US ask me, "Is that a hiking stick?" But priority seating, they had these priority seats on almost every train I got on, both the train and the subway in Tokyo. And I never asked a single person, "Hey, can I have the priority seat?" People saw my cane and they immediately were very gracious and kind and offered it to me. And I think that blew me away, that I can be a foreigner in another country, as in like I know almost very little, almost no Japanese. And, you know, I don't know these people, and they were still nicer to me than people in my own country.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess guess you try to stay strong and fake.
They were first invented in Japan back in the 1960s, and now they're used all over the world. And here's the coolest part. Japan integrates these markers everywhere. Sidewalks, all designed so people can live independently without relying on anyone else.
確かに今まで何とも思ってなかったが、日本って点字ブロックがどこにでもあるよな。
Par exemple, pour les personnes à mobilité réduite, dans la plupart des gares, il y a des ascenseurs, des escalators, il y a toujours un espace dédié, la conductrice ou le conducteur vient toujours vous aider.
I'm utterly in love with how the Japanese system has been structured and planned such that people with any form of disability feel included. Over here, from what I have observed, it doesn't feel like anything the government does in support of these people is a favor, but it's actually a standard that these people feel that they belong here. From transportation to access to public places to work industry or the workforce, everything has been planned such that these people are able to do things on their own or add value to the society without feeling like they are a burden to society. They can add value to society, they can go to schools, they can enjoy the basic necessities of life without feeling like they are, excuse me to say, a burden on society. And for me, this is actually a quiet kind of love.
How wheelchair accessible is Japan? Starting off first, the public transportation is very accessible. You'll get an attendant to bring out a route for you, and then they will call ahead to the stop that you're planning to get off to so that an attendant can meet you there with a ramp. Elevators everywhere, and it was really helpful that we had an attendant that could bring us onto the right train. On full trains, the attendant would use his microphone to let passengers know that wheelchair users are coming on and to make space for them.
こっちのネキは海外のバリアフリー事情について教えてくれてるようだな。
The New York City subway is not accessible. Currently, only 25% of stations are labeled as accessible. Think about it. Think about how often you have used an elevator or a ramp that were invented for the disabled community or by the disabled community. Access benefits everybody.
I am disabled, and this is how I take the subway in New York City. Navigating the subway with a disability is a complete nightmare, from thinking about going underground to getting out of the damn underground. My balance to passing through the entrance, and like managing a disability in the subway is not fun. Getting out of the subway always creates a sense of peace in me, as I'm officially out of the train, but now it's time to take 1,000 steps to go back up into the city. In this staircase, my steps were a bit uneven and I kinda got stuck, and towards the end here,
ワイらの知らなかった日本像がここにある。お次は日本では差別されなかったと感じたミキやネキたちの反応を見ていこう。
Have you really had a lot of like positivity around you? Yeah, lots of positivity. I remember most of the times when I go to an izakaya or a restaurant with my friends, and the people are just very, very nice. Where we're from, what we do here, what we study, and we will try to respond Japanese, and they will be like so happy that we try to speak Japanese with them. Really love sometimes how the people are really so friendly to us on random occasions, basically.
I think for me as a black person, before you leave the house and you enter out into the world, I find living here, I don't feel I need to be armored up. I think that for me is the most significant difference, is that just that peace of mind.
I have not experienced a single racist encounter since moving here. Generally, people are really excited to meet foreigners, especially in the countrysides. Like, they're super happy that when foreigners go there, because they're like, Japanese people, they love when like other people appreciate their culture. So when you've put in an effort to like go to a countryside and, you know, do something that's not touristy, it's usually considered really respectable.
Japan so far has been the most welcoming country to me in Asia, but only because of one reason. I've been making an effort to speak Japanese, accommodating myself to the culture, smiling, and most importantly, giving good energy. And the Japanese reciprocate exactly that. Just like any culture, they want you to respect their country, and that's what you should be doing as a tourist. Remember, it's not where you're from, it's how you act. Every culture will respect you if you respect them first.
Задолбали тупые стереотипы про Японию.
こっちのネキは日本人に関するあることにぶち逃げてるようだ。
Это я сейчас про те самые комментарии, в которых люди пишут о том, что в Японии все расисты, тут такой прям национализм, всех иностранцев поголовно дискриминируют, все очень плохо, ужас, 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 ужас. И вот он теперь думает, что все остальные японцы такие же, это всегда так получается, ну вот у человека случилась неприятная ситуация. Это я еще могу понять. Но когда люди, которые в Японии даже не были, просто подцепили откуда-то непонятно какую информацию, все будет очень плохо, и вот они бегают и всем доказывают, что живу здесь с 2020 года. И за все 5 лет жизни здесь никакой дискриминации в мою сторону, никакого плохого отношения по причине того, что я иностранка, ничего подобного не было. Если вы ведете себя нормально, как приличный человек, соблюдаете местные правила и знаете японский, то к вам будут нормально относиться.
Foreigners will move out to Japan and then realize like, oh, they're kind of sexist here, they're kind of racist here. I'm not quite as comfortable as I thought I would be. Yeah, it's not your country, bro. And unfortunately, that's kind of what makes Japan, Japan. However, I think moving here and the rose-tinted glasses coming off doesn't necessarily make this a bad place to live. Just reality sets in. You realize it's like not the utopia that it was on vacation.
Te voy a contar la historia de una idol que tuvo un accidente que le cambió la vida.
最後は日本人についても見ていこう。ハンデなんかに負けんじゃねえって全世界に向けて勇気を与える日本人たちの姿だぜ。
2018, Tomoka tuvo un accidente donde quedó en silla de ruedas, donde sus piernas y su columna se vieron afectadas. Ella, a pesar de eso, mantuvo una visión muy positiva y se propuso ser la primera idol de este grupo en silla de ruedas y ser una idol que inspira a las demás personas a ser idol a pesar de su discapacidad.
Even the guy in the wheelchair is collecting bottles and trash from the pitch. That's the culture. That's the tradition. Respect above everything else. That's why when you meet a Japanese, they're gonna bow to you, showing humility. And by the way, they do this even when they lose. They do this with kids. They do this with seniors. They do this with the guy on the wheelchair. No excuses. Let's learn from Japan. We can do that, right?
A young soccer fan who was bullied due to his disability is now the envy of many young people after receiving a special visit from a professional player. Now, video captured the moment 6-year-old Ronnie was greeted by Hull City player Yu Hirakawa, who shared words of comfort and gifted the youngster his jersey. The heartwarming moment has sent a virtual hug around the internet.
His pediatric cardiologist, Dr. Gary Seitu, personally called me. He let me know he had a surprise for Albert and let me know that this organization wanted to honor my son and fill people in on his journey and give him a new piece of journey by walking into the Dodger Stadium.
「以上日本の街と人に救われた海外ネキニキたちの反応を見てきたぜ。今日のテーマを一言でまとめるとな、声を出さない優しさの話だったと思う。負けた後でもゴミを拾う車椅子の人、頼まれる前に席を立つ乗客、黙って敷かれた黄色いブロック、全部声を出さずに愛を語ってる。そしてそれだけのことが海の向こうじゃ奇跡みたいに映るんだ。そういや最初に出てきたウィンディちゃんも顔のあざを隠すもんじゃなくヒーローとのお揃いにしちまったんだよな。ヒロアカ風に言うならあれこそがあの子の個性ってやつだ。人と違う部分を消すんじゃなくそのまま持って歩く。その方がよっぽど強えんだわ。ちなお前らが思う自分の個性ってなんだ？コメントで教えてくれよな。Y か。Y の個性はスーパーの半額シールが貼られる時間を体内時計で完璧に把握してることだな。夜勤で鍛えた割引ハンターだぜ。最後まで見てくれてありがとな。コメントチャンネル登録よろしく。